All right, friends, happy Saturday. It's Aaron here bringing you your daily horoscope for August 3rd, 2019. We've got the moon in Virgo. The moon in Virgo is going to oppose Neptune in Pisces. It's going to create a trine to Saturn and to Pluto to the south node. It's going to create a sextile to the north node in Cancer. Okay, so let me show you what the chart looks like. There's kind of a lot going on today, and I'll make all these connections here. So here's the moon in the middle degrees, right? Here's a little sextile, 16 degrees, the north node, right? Being more empathetic, being more nurturing, more caring in the way that we're able to forward our communication, the way that we are nurturing and taking care of ourselves as well as others. Okay, because, Virgo is all about others. It's about doing the work and diligence. And, it's being that nurse, it's being the doctor. It doesn't matter what the patient did, if it was a gunshot wound or whatever's going on, we got to get them back to health. And everyone has an opportunity to turn their lives around, right? Everyone can turn their lives around no matter where they were at yesterday, where they're at today, even tomorrow. Everyone has an opportunity to change. And that's what the moon is making this connection up here to Pluto in Capricorn, and to Saturn and the south node, which is right here at 16 degrees in between the two, right? So our emotional moon needs to be very specific, very analytical, right? And Virgo the Virgin, what does Virgin mean? Virgin means it's not owned by, okay? So it says yes or it says no to something. And with this sextile here, it's like, okay, we got to be, we got to think about our emotional body, not just the physical world here, but at the same time, our emotional body with what we need here is to be very specific on what it is that we want to change and create in our lives. And the change that we are creating and making, right, this Neptune, sextile to Neptune, we can dream bigger. Okay, and this is saying our dreams here, look at the opposition, our dreams here, be very specific about what your dreams are. What are you trying to obtain right now, right? Our dreams are going to manifest, says the sextile between Saturn and Neptune. And then right here, this opposition, it's saying be very specific. It's saying by working for others, by working for others here, we can create this by simply doing the work, right? The moon is what we need by simply doing the work, by being very specific on what it is that we're dreaming, by doing the work. We create the structure and we create this transformation. And now to follow this here, as we're following this around the zodiac, Pluto quincunx to Mars, okay? Now what does that mean? What does that annoying quincunx aspect to Mars mean today? Well, Pluto is about transformation, right? Pluto is we're going deep into the underworld and we're bringing up this obscure knowledge, the occult, the hidden knowledge, we're bringing that up. Now Pluto has been in Capricorn since 2008. Right, Capricorn rules government. So it's like we've been digging up stuff in our government since 2008. We've been digging up the things that govern ourselves, govern our country, as well as our independent daily lives. We're transforming how we're transforming our government as well as our daily, laws, 1817, women were being arrested for marching on the gates of White House trying to vote. What? It's like, that's insane. And now 102 years later, we have a potential for a woman as president. It's beautiful. Things change. These laws and rules change. So our government is changing. The laws of our government are changing. Our own laws that govern ourselves are changing, right? These laws are not brittle. And Virgo says we need to be very specific on what's yes and what's no, right? As we move, tomorrow we move into Libra. This is the balancing scale. Now, it's really interesting here when we get into like astrology, you get into all kinds of fun things because law is involved in astrology, religion is involved in astrology. It's kind of all encompassing. And we can look at the laws of land, the laws of man, and we can look at religious law. And these have kind of become these separate things, right? And originally, like God's law was man's law of the land. It was one and the same thing. And now over the past 2,000 years, these have kind of become separate. There's a God's law. This is our moral, ethical code that we follow. And then there's the law of the land, which you should follow, but there's not a supreme deity consequence that's kind of going on, right? So it's just like the judgment that happens in Virgo because it is a sign of judgment. It is what we say yes to. It is what we say no to. Do I want to go down this path? Do I want to go down this path? You know, what happens here gets judged, or the judgment in Virgo gets rejudged and puts on the balancing scales of Libra, right? And it's up to us. I think this is a very interesting thing without getting in too much into like religious ideologies. It's always been fascinating to me, as one who studies all of these things, that, you know, you go back to the Egyptian time, and we have, right, my heart weighs lighter than a feather. Does your heart weigh lighter than the feather on the balancing scales of Libra, right? Now, we're not there. That's tomorrow. But why I'm talking about this now is because the judgment, the actions that we take today lead to that. So, you know, in this old Egyptian mythology, it's, you know, I shall not kill. I shall not bear false witness. I shall not commit adultery. You know, on current religion, we have thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness. The main difference here, both of these morally want the same thing. The main difference between the two is one is an outside force that can be looked at as oppression. It's up to the individual. But one, we have an outside force that's telling you not to do something because of a consequence. On the other hand, we have personal responsibility, which is one of the things I really love about the zodiac, which I love about astrology, is this, you know, it's just like it kind of puts the responsibility in our own lap. And it's just like, I don't want to do these for my own karma. I want to free my own karma while I'm here in this lifetime. You know, I don't want these quantum entanglements, these bad things that have come back and bite you, you know, and then that stuff happens. We know that. So we want to morally and ethically do these things, not because of an outside source or an outside influence, but because we ourselves want to do that. We ourselves want to put in the work. We ourselves want to help others heal. You know, if we're the nurse, again, it's unconditionally giving. Unconditionally giving. My favorite thing about Virgo is like, you know, it's the flowers that bloom every year and die. It's the trees that grow and give fruit and give life. You know, and it's just, it doesn't matter if you took a bite and tossed it, or if you enjoyed every you know, little piece of flavor in there. You know, the tree doesn't matter. The tree's not going to judge you. The same with the sun. It's like, look, we're in Leo season. The sun's not going to judge you. The sun's not judging humanity. And this is giving us that lesson. So when the moon is in this very critical judgmental sign of Virgo, you know, it's just like, okay, you know, our emotions are judging this, and this is judging this, and you know, with this new world of where we're going and what's right and what's wrong. And that sextile of the North Node is saying, be empathetical. Put yourself in that person's shoes if you can. Try to communicate the best you can with the other human being that you're dealing with. Try to be compassionate. Try to be reasonable in how we're putting the stuff out there, right? Because it's ultimately like, you know, you know, most of the things we deal with on a daily basis aren't a law of man kind of a thing where you're, you know, doing something that involves the police. This is a moral and ethical code. This is our own judgments, right? So how do we want to proceed in moving along morally and ethically while we communicate with others, and how we're doing while we're putting the work in, right? That's kind of our day. So it's like, one, be very specific on this Saturday and what we're trying to achieve, what we're trying to go for, to remind ourselves to be more compassionate, to be empathetic, right? And then to think about the bigger picture, this trine, the moon trine from Virgo to Pluto, to the South Node, and to Saturn. Because that's very, very, very important. It's like we're being very specific. It's very specific things lead to our own personal transformation. That's Pluto's job up in our career 10th house right now. You know, it's just like we need to transform the ideas that govern us on a daily basis. You know, we have some old world knowledge and things that's like, these aren't gonna sustain us and bring us to where we need to be. We have some old thoughts, again, like that. Just 102 years ago, women were being arrested for wanting the right to vote. You know, and it's like we have that same thing now in just a different light. We have these same issues now in a different way. So it's like these laws will not sustain. So what we're doing is we're getting very specific on what laws we need to create to sustain that's going to be equal. It's going to equal the playing field for everybody. Everybody gets a chance to eat from this apple tree. You know, everyone gets a chance to go into this orchard, grab an apple and decide if they like that bite or not and what they want to do with it. So so that is your Saturday. And the last thing I want to say is the moon is squaring Jupiter. Okay, the moon is going to square Jupiter. So we have, let me just show you what this looks like real quick. All right, so here's the moon. We've got the trines. Here's the square to Jupiter. And then, of course, Jupiter right here is creating a trine to Venus, a trine to the sun. And that's what I was telling you a moment ago. When we are passing judgment here in this very analytical moon, and this is, look, I'm cutting you off, okay? That's what happens when the moon goes into Virgo in this kind of situation. I'm cutting you off, man. All right? And with this square here, the quincunx here, and the trine here, let me explain what that's saying. This is saying the sun doesn't stop shining. It dim its light down for anybody, okay? We've had world wars. Okay, it's not funny. I'm sorry, that's how I'm expressing myself. We've had world wars. We've had atom bombs. We've had just, you know, in the name of Jesus wars. We have had our brothers and sisters murder each other. Sorry, it's getting heavy. For just like, you know, terrible, terrible, terrible reasons and purposes like behind it. When we look back hundreds of years later, we're like, wow. That was crazy. And it's not like the sun said, you know what, humanity, I'm giving up on you. I'm giving up on you. I'm pulling the rug out. I'm turning my light off. You guys are going to have to fend for yourself in the darkness until everything dies, and so do you, because I'm done. The sun's never done that. Thus far that we know. It's never going to. You know, it dies and rises again every single day. The sun comes back every single day for us. So it's reminding us this Leo season to not give up on people you love, not give up on people you care about, not give up communicating those hard topics. It's difficult. I'm dealing with one now. I'm not going to explain it all, but it's like those hard conversations when, you know, when we get to a certain age, it's like we want to walk away when we're younger. And this is like, no, yeah, we have to face up and be that strong woman, that strong man that says, hey, I'm here to march on the gates and you can arrest me if you want to, but I'm doing the right thing for the future. All right? I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up on me. I'm not giving up on you. I'm not giving up on humanity. The sun doesn't give up on us. It's not giving up on humanity, and neither are you. Right? That's our Saturday. So, and we're going to focus more on that as we move into tomorrow, as the moon is going to move into to Libra, which is much more about, you know, other people. Right now it's about being very specific. Where are we going? What are we doing? What are we saying yes to? What are we saying no to? Okay? And trying to be unconditional. The smell of love, right? What is it? The you know, true love is the scent a flower gives off when it's stepped on. Unconditional. Oh, that's good. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.